All right, y'all, we are here at the 2022 Chicago Auto Show, and behind me, I have a car that I have been dying to see for forever, and that is the 2022 Ford Expedition. Now, the Expedition in 2022 got a little bit of a facelift, especially when we talk about the interior, which was probably one of my biggest gripes about the old body style Expedition. So today, unfortunately, we can't turn the car on and see all the bells and whistles, but we can get a vibe, and more importantly, we can see the car seat setup. I have 3 car seats here at the Chicago Auto Show, and we're going to be installing them in all sorts of ways in this Ford Expedition. If this is your first time joining me, hey, I'm Kelly, and I'm the car mom. I review cars for moms and for families. I'm a mom of 2 and a certified child passenger safety tech. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, and let's get started. Okay, my friends, we have the Timberline edition, which means not entirely sure, but it has some fun little exterior elements that I just wanted to point out quickly. First, when we start with our front end, you're noticing not a lot of chrome on this one, but instead more of this matted plastic kind of material. We've got some cool orange elements down here, and then some little Timberline badging down there, which I think looks great. If we look at the side profile, we've got a little bit of an LED daytime running lights, LED headlights, and fog lights. Always helpful, always bright, always keeping you safe at night. That rhymed. Wow. Okay, moving along to her side profile, we've got 18-inch wheels right here. Really like the matte black against kind of this, or this shiny black, I guess, against this dark gray metallic. I think it looks great in this color. Moving along, I'm loving the gloss black mirror caps. I think that looks great, but I actually like how they kind of made this body color instead of throwing an extra chrome or black out. I think it just really kind of adds to the cohesion of the vehicle. Oh, the screen is on. Okay, we've got some running boards right here, not power, but you know what, that's okay, because you know what that means? One less thing that could break. I'm excited about this car. Some great roof rails up here, a little bit different color than the body color, to kind of elevate your eye a little bit. And then if we move to the back end, we have some more Timberline-esque badges. So we have the Expedition double space, but if you look, there's just a little bit of orange on the outside of it, which I think looks amazing. Now, this is not the Max, so it's not the extended wheelbase, but the differences between the Max and the regular Ford Expedition is just trunk size. So when we're thinking about cabin and car seat setup, it's going to be the same. So if I show you this trunk and you're disappointed, go up to the Max, because know that the cabin space and the car seat setup is the same. So let's get in the car. Okay, so here's a shot of me in the driver's seat of this 2022 Ford Expedition Timberline. Let's start by breaking down the side cubby. Beautiful side cubbies. A little shallow, but a lot of it. So I think that's exciting. Again, I'm loving this orange and this Timberline that you can see it throughout the entire vehicle, which I think looks amazing. Oh, look at this. How cute is that? It's like a little map. I love finding those little things. That's darling. So as far as my driver's comfort is concerned, the seats are not my favorite Ford. If you're listening, they are very firm. I wish they were a little wider, a little bit more comfortable. But as far as my other amenities go, I feel improved. Now, is it as nice as an Escalade? No. But is it way better than it was? Yeah. I feel a little less like I'm in an older vehicle. This feels a lot more current. I love this iPad screen. I think it's a lot to look at. But I want to talk about some of the functionality here in a second. Okay, here we are back in the Ford Expedition. Wanted to kind of talk about some of these drivers' amenities, and I really kind of want to dive into this beautiful screen. So let's come back to that. Let's start with what's around. Wireless charger, USB, USB-C. 2 cup holders here, 2 cup holders here, which in my books is an A+, because I have 4 cup holders, which means I have enough for my water, my iced coffee, and yesterday's water, and yesterday's iced coffee, which is what I need in life. Center console is huge. You could totally eat a Chick-fil-A salad on here, which is amazing. Look inside of this thing. Swallows my arm. Swallows my arm. You want to know how many of your kids' things you could fit in here? You could fit a whole sleeve of diapers in there. That is beyond exciting. Comes with a little organizer tray, which I probably will be able to get back in. Oh, look, I did. I love the Ford Expedition. It's probably my favorite full-size SUV, which I'll break down a little bit more why when we get to the second and third row. But let's dive into this screen. So after just playing around with it briefly, one thing that I do appreciate is that they have pulled the climate control completely out and the volume button's easy to find. I always think about that because there's nothing more annoying than 1, music blasting unexpectedly, and 2, being blasted with hot air and then not being able to find how to turn it off. So I appreciate that. The 2 things that I would need to do quickly are completely pulled out. Everything else is all built into this screen. Now, it does look pretty. It's also fingerprint city. I mean, it looks nice now, but this catches in the glare on a Thursday afternoon in the carpool line, you will see nothing but fingerprints. So my advice, keep a microfiber cloth in your giant center console and clean it up as needed. But anyway, to kind of break it down a little bit, it looks like it's working similarly, I guess, to I don't want to call it an iPhone, but I mean, if you click here, it kind of pulls up some of your quick apps. So then you could have your radio, and then you could make your radio look like the entire screen, and then you can have additional buttons down here as kind of like favorites, I guess, or like, I guess like the dock on like your iPad or something. I like how kind of user-friendly that is, or you just go back up there, find your things. I'm interested to see what this sketch thing is. Some features have been disabled while the vehicle is in motion, but we're not in motion. Ugh. Well, it looks like you can sketch, and I was going to leave you guys a nice little note, but this floor model had other plans. So anyway, that is kind of a quick breakdown of these two seats. Let's get to the second and third row. This is captain's chairs. I've got the 3 car seats. Oh, of course, and the panoramic sunroof, which would normally let in great natural light. Instead, it's probably letting in like horrible overhead light, which probably isn't very flattering for me, but that's okay. Let's get back there. Okay, there is so much to love about the Expedition car seat setup, and I'm so excited to show it to you. So here's what we're working with, and here's what we have. The Expedition comes in a captain's chairs or a bench option. Today we have the captain's chairs. So in the captain's chairs, we have a total of 4 sets of lower anchors, 5 tether anchors, meaning that every seating position has a tether anchor. Good job, Ford. And we have 2 sets of lower anchors in the third row, and then obviously each set on the captain's chairs. If we were in the bench seat, believe it or not, 3 sets of lower anchors across the bench in the second row with tether anchors in all seating positions. So in the bench, we're talking about 5 sets of lower anchors, 6 tether anchors, and in the captain's chairs, we're talking about 4 sets of lower anchors with 5 tether anchors. What else could you ask for? We have a Kiko One Fit, a Kiko Key Fit 35, and the Kiko booster seat. I've installed the One Fit forward facing with the seat belt and then obviously the tether anchor. Here's a shot of this installation. For the Key Fit 35, we use the lower anchors, and then we actually put the booster seat in the third row with the lower anchor attachment. Now the lower anchors are not required on the booster, which is kind of a great feature when booster seats offer lower anchors, because it's a way to keep the seat stationary and reduces the risk of it becoming a projectile. So it has nothing to do with how much the child weighs or anything like that. Its main goal is just to keep the seat there because the child will be buckled with the seat belt. Okay, so I have the Key Fit 35 installed here. I'm gonna go ahead and take this infant seat out because I want to show you what's called the car seat tilt, one of my all-time favorite features. Okay, so when you have a car seat installed with the lower anchors, the way that the Expedition seats work is the entire seat tilts. So you can actually access the third row with a car seat installed, again, with the lower anchors. So what you would do is there's a lever at the top right here. You just pull the lever up. As you can see, the entire seat will tilt, pushes forward, and then you can access your third row that way. So I'm gonna hop back there and I'll show you what we're working with. Okay, and we apologize about the lie where we're not working with the best equipment here. Okay, so in the third row of the Expedition, a lot to love. First of all, we have ceiling vents in the second and the third row. We've got 2 cup holders on this side, 1 cup holder on this side, USB on this side. Lots of nice amenities for your kids back here. Here's our booster seat we have installed with the lower anchors. Again, we have more lower anchors here, but what I love about this car, this thing right here. You know who doesn't have a middle head restraint? The Yukon, the Tahoe, the Suburban, the Escalade. We need middle head restraints. If you're gonna put a child here, and then God forbid you get in a collision and there's no middle head restraint, that officially becomes the most dangerous seat in the vehicle, which is why I love the Ford Expedition. I love the car seat setup. I'm impressed with the car seat setup. It's always my favorite. And now that they have the upgrades of the screen, this car is gonna be hard to beat for me. All right, now let's take a look at the trunk space. Again, like I said, the Ford Expedition comes in a regular and the Max version. The Max version is 12 inches longer, but just in the trunk space. Cabin space, car seat setup, everything else is the same. So when I show you this trunk, if you're disappointed, know you can go bigger. You have more options. Here's the trunk space we're working with. Now we do have power seats right here. I actually like it because you can control both the third row or the second row. So if you're in a situation where you need to be like hauling a bunch of things, you don't have to do like, the scurrying, get to the second row and then get to the third row. It can all happen right here. A little bit of some additional storage underneath here, nothing crazy, but something to talk about. And then again, if this is not big enough, get up to the Max. I have put strollers in here before. I'm not really thinking it's like a double stroller kind of situation, so just something to note. I appreciate how it's illuminated right here. I think that looks great. So that's going to wrap up my quick little Expedition tour. I'm not trying to like fangirl, but it is truly probably one of my favorite vehicles, especially for multiple car seats. If you compare this vehicle to the other full-size SUVs, I'm sorry, from a car seat standpoint, the other ones fall short. And if this really isn't your thing, if this isn't quite nice enough, or if you are in the luxury car market, first of all, good for you. Second of all, forgot the tether anchor was attached. Second of all, the Lincoln Navigator is the Ford Expedition's better, more expensive cousin. So they're the same vehicle. The car seat setup's very similar on the inside. They operate very similarly. So if this is like just not quite enough bells and whistles for you, check out the Navigator.